Starting capture. Today's video, I'm just going to sit here and run by a couple theories I had, and I wanted some help in seeing if my theories can be proven to be correct. The only way by doing so is having others to also test your theories and come out with their own hypotheses and conclusions to your theories. One of my theories is based on the idea of what's called the Trinity. And everybody that knows the Trinity in the Christian sense knows as it to be the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. These three entities are supposed to have a deep connection within each other, not only within each other, but they're supposed to be one with you. So in my theory, it doesn't actually go into a spiritualistic thought, but more of a scientific thought about truly what your own personal Trinity is. Now, to think of it being what, as our English uses, God, Father, things like that in that nature. The ability to have a connection with a spiritual realm that is intertwined with everybody else's spirit, which is intertwined with what you call the heavens above, and intertwined with different beings and energies. This happens to be exactly what the right side of your brain possesses, these capabilities. The right side of your brain is your unconsciousness. It's considered your unconsciousness because it doesn't think about things within this physical reality as being the only thing to dwell upon. It actually goes into another reality. And this sense also has electrical connections with other realities and gets radio impulses and light impulses and different signals to stimulate these realities. So this right side of your brain is a greatness, a greater connection, a great something that goes beyond what you will see visually on this earth. Now, you have your left side of your brain, which is your light, and light we use the reference sun. This is the part of your brain that thinks logically, whereas if your right side of the brain did something, it would be instinctively, meaning say if your cup fell, you can instinctively catch it before it falls. Doesn't think about why it does it, it just does, it just is. This is your right side of the brain. It is what it is. I am that I am. It's no time period with it, because it isn't time. It's everything that alludes around it, where as your left side thinks about time, thinks about numbers, calculates these things and decode these things. If that cup was to fall again and you only thought with your left side will actually put in front of you all the mathematics, the trigonometry, and everything that goes into your action you just followed. It's your enlightened side. It makes logic of things in a visual sense, where you can now communicate it in the visual sense. So you have these two parts of your brain, and they have a deep connection with each other. They send signals to each other via pineal gland. When melatonin and serotonin, melatonin starts clicking in your left side and serotonin starts clicking in your right side, these chemicals start producing electrical signals to have you allow communication with each side of your brain. When you feed one more than the other, or allow to take over one to take over more than the other, what happens is that other side dies off in a way where it's still there, where you can still exercise it. It's not physically dying, but it's dying within what we consider the spiritual way. A way where it's inner being, not its outer being, not its physical structure, but its internal structure, which is being broken down. So true Trinity allows these two to actually communicate with each other in each other's language and bring the best out of each other. And then you have what is called your spinal cord. It starts from the brain stem within your brain to where these connections are now drawn from. It travels down as a vessel to send signals within your own internal body. This cord goes from here to here in your back. And each level, the higher you go, the more you cut off the true you to your left and right side. The eternal vessel we call the Holy Spirit is not actually this so-called spirit. Is inside of you. It's something within you. You have your own connection. It's the same thing as if you look into electronical devices. Electronical devices has its own brain, has its own memory, it has a way to communicate with others. So does your body. And instead of just looking into spiritually the definitions of your own spiritual practices, break them down also into a scientific method so you can understand your terms and what you're thinking of. Another theory I can go on is I have a thing against these new three-dimensional televisions. Like, well, that's kind of stupid, but actually I look at it again in a scientific perspective. When light flashes, this is what happens also very heavily in photosensitive diseases like epilepsy and stuff. The light flashes and hits your retina. When these and now these different flashes are causing signals to go all the way to your pineal gland, and the light flashes triggers your serotonin, your alertness. So having light flashes, and if you ever know what LED lights are, there are many little lights that have flashing impulses. So you have now something able to trigger your conscious state of mind without you knowing it. Then you go into how pixels are. And everybody remember back in the day, if you ever went to the art museum or something, you remember there were pictures where you see this big picture, but as you walk closer, you will see hexagons and hexagons. And what you will see, or maybe you'll see little squares. Back in the day, pixels were squares, but now they're more developed, and hexagons seem to be the best geometrical shape for a lot of things. So you'll see little pictures within this big picture. Now, you don't notice that until you move in and allow your vision to start breaking it down microscopically. But from a distance where your lens is not able to trigger that effect to break it down, you just see the bigger picture. So now you have one, light flashing in your television from different levels and different colors that can trigger different signals and allow your consciousness to absorb information without you willingly know it. Then you have little pictures that make a bigger picture, and you can't even see these little pictures. Now what you're about to do is pull them from a two-dimensional state and bring them forth into a three-dimensional aspect where they now come in different facets, where now you can put different pictures and messages within different shapes. So, nice little mind control, little subliminal message tool. If nobody ever think it could be, my personal opinion is anytime you're trying to force people to have a type of signal so they can have these type of pixels, I don't know. To me, it's something wrong with that. When you have to force and implement things by a certain time, and I just wonder why. I like to wonder about people's intentions when they do things. And I like to break down things down from the single element before going to understanding just the bigger picture. Okay, these are my two theories that I can break down for today. I'm going to come up with a couple more that I can write down or whatever, but I would like people also to test my theory and help me understand my theories, because I can only have them to myself, but it's no good if there's not no trial and error and people also to help me research this information. You can follow me on Twitter, Atalia Riley. So if you have any comments or whatever, you can or you have any theories of your own, I would love to investigate it with you. this